I can take this one. So I'm glad you asked this question because we actually get the question all the time. So I could talk about, Coach's partnership with Little Nas and how that campaign took off on TikTok and how, they executed that. Or Duluth Trading Company had an awesome content integration with, the hit show Yellowstone. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
lots of examples of these, but I'm not going to give you or the users the answer that they want, which is the general, this is what's working, go do this. Everyone kind of wants to get into that, right? The tactic.
Right.
What should I do? Just tell me
Yes.
which one to do. But I think what's more important is to step back and like where we're seeing clients really have success with these different types of activations is how they're approaching it. And so really thinking about it as an additive approach to their program. So, we just talked about thinking not as an expense and how do I cut, but how do I think of marketing as an investment?
Right.
So they're taking a full funnel strategy. They're understanding, where these new tactics complement and again are additive to that strategy. They're really clear on what they're trying to accomplish. I see a lot of people saying, oh, I just need to diversify my mix, or I just need to move up the funnel. But why, right? Like, how is that additive? And don't create a hole in your funnel by moving it somewhere else. So, the successful engagements we're seeing, have that, like, what are the true outcomes from the beginning? They're thinking of ways to identify that additive budget. So we just talked about, incremental budget or investing more, but there's also, shift from ineffective to effective. Versus pulling from the bottom where you're capturing demand to go generate demand just to have your competition capture it, right? Those are places where we see people fall down. Also, you talked about, crawl, walk, run. I think where people are finding success or where clients are finding success is when they have that entry strategy. So knowing that if you go into a new strategy, like you talked about, that won't be optimized on day one. So thinking through the audience, how are we going to optimize this? How are we going to ramp investment as we learn what's working? We see a lot of people go big, right? And you talked about, creatives want to go do this big creative thing, or, merchants are like, hey, just go do this. We see a lot of people take that approach, or a lot of clients want to take that approach of like, I'm just going to go big, $10 million next 3 weeks. We're going to measure it. Well, that rarely is successful on day one.